Good morning. Welcome to November's Committee of the Whole. I'd ask any member of the committee to declare pecuniary interest now or where it may arise during the meeting. And moving on to number 3, Infrastructure and Development Services. We have one correspondence there to receive and file. Councillor Broad moves, seconded by Councillor Sageman. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. 3B, information reports under Infrastructure and Development. We have 3 information reports if you want to receive and file all 3 of those, unless there's questions. Councillor Cook and Councillor Bouchy, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. And under Infrastructure and Development, we also have reports requiring a motion regarding the 2025 Corporate Asset Management Plan. There are 2 recommendations there. If there's any discussion or a motion to approve both of those recommendations? Or any questions? Councillor Ferguson? You made a motion, okay. Seconded by Councillor Miller. All in favor? Oh, sorry, Councillor White.
Thank you, Warden. First off, thanks for the report. I know it was a difficult consideration in which direction to recommend we go in terms of maintaining the gap. I do agree with that. I think we'll be fine in any situation that arises. We'll be able to, I think, work around that. In terms of adding to, though, inflation aside, as we take on new assets, what's the intention in terms of maintaining that gap? Is it to adjust those numbers accordingly? And I apologize if that's in there, but I didn't quite find that answer that I was looking for in that report. Thanks.
Okay, Mr. Tifo, please.
Thank you, Warden. If I understand the correction correctly, it's about, the question is, what is the strategy to minimize that gap, close that gap over time?
No, I apologize. As I understand the strategies to maintain the gap, we have $1.6 billion in assets, correct? So inflation aside, as we take on new assets, new buildings such as the affordable housing units, et cetera, the scale that is shown there maintains the existing gap, as I understand it. What is the strategy? Is it to allow that gap to grow then as we take on new assets, or is it to adjust those numbers?
Yeah, just a quick response to that, if Mr. Cole or Mr. Flarkio have got a different perspective. But effectively, if I understand your question, you're asking if we take on additional assets where you have to capitalize over time for renewal purposes, how does that impact the current recommendations? Yeah, we would take a look at that, and I think, in fact, we were having a discussion yesterday about the approach taken corporate-wide on asset management and amortization of assets for life cycle renewal purposes. So yes, there would be a management discussion moving forward on how best to maintain that. And of course, once we get to budget, then there'll be County Council's decision as to what to contribute to those reserve accounts.
Okay, any other questions? I think we called the question that was carried. Moving on to other business under Infrastructure and Development. Is there any at this time? Councillor Dennis.
Thank you, Warden Marion. I just had a question with respect to the road work that's being done in Sarnia. Road work that's being done between Indian Road and Michigan Road, or Avenue rather. If I could have maybe an update, some citizens have approached me and they feel like it's taken quite a long time. And are we on schedule? Are we over schedule? It just seems like it's taken quite some time.
Mr. Cole, please.
I'll just look through you, Warden, to Councillor Dennis. I'll just look to see if our Manager of Public Works is online. So I'll direct that question towards Matt DeLine, please.
Thanks. through the chair to Councillor Dennis. What specific projects were you speaking of? Michigan Ave between
Yeah,
Indian and
well,
Clover?
the whole stretch basically, it's been up, the road has been torn up for quite some time. Yeah, you did a bang up job at the corner of Colburn and Michigan, and then stretching down past Lakeview Cemetery, down from the road is blocked off. People can't head east on Michigan, and it's been dug up for quite some time. It's the road work has been on well into the summer, and then now into November, and it just seems like it's been taking quite some time. I don't know if you've run into some unforeseen difficulties or what have you, but it's been very, very noticeable. People have come to me, and they're patient people. People understand those things take time, but it's now come to a point where people are scratching their heads and saying, well, this seems like it's taking a little bit longer than it probably should. So.
Right. So through the chair to Councillor Dennis, that project's being managed by the city of Sarnia.
My apologies. I thought.
But I do have an update though. They do plan on paving next week.
Oh, good.
So
That's good.
that's what I've heard as of yesterday. That was.
Okay. I thought it was a county road. My apologies. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Through the chair to council, it is a county road, but the underground infrastructure of a water main and sanitary force main is being completed by the city. So we're just paying our portion of the road as part of the project.
Okay.
So it's a partnership with the city on that.
Okay.
One.
Well, thank you so much for clearing that up. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, any other business under infrastructure this morning? Seeing none, we move on to item number 4, public health services and emergency medical services. There's one information report there to receive and file unless there's questions. Councillor Bean moves, Councillor White seconds. All in favor? That'd be carried. Thank you. Any other business for public health? Moving on to number 5, Cultural Services Division. We have 2 information reports here to receive and file unless there's questions. Look for a mover, Councillor Atkinson, and Deputy Warden Agar seconds. All in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. And we have 2 reports that require a motion. The first one is regarding library donations from July the 1st to September the 30th. Look for a motion for that one. Councillor Case, Councillor Broad seconds. All in favor? That's carried. And the second report is regarding museums, gallery, and archives collections management for September of 2025. Look for a mover for that one. Councillor Miller and Councillor Bean. All in favor? That's carried. Is there any other business for cultural services this morning? Seeing none, we move to item number 6, long-term care. And there are 3 information reports here to receive and file. Councillor Case, Councillor Cook. All in favor? That's be carried. Any other business for long-term care? Moving on to number 7, finance facilities. There are no agenda items today unless there is other business for finance facilities. Moving on to number 8, corporate services. Information reports. There's one here for 2026 board and committee appointments. So I'll look for a motion for that. Councillor Loosely, seconded by Councillor Ferguson. Councillor Loosely, you have a question.
Yeah, thank you, Warden Marriott. I just want to state that I'm really pleased to see that we're moving that budget process up a little bit. So I just wanted to pass that on the staff and thank them for that.
Thank you. All in favor of the motion? That's carried. Reports requiring a motion. Regarding the 2026 council and committee meeting dates, look for a motion to approve that one. Councillor Broad, seconded by Councillor Cook. All in favor? That's carried. Is there any other business under corporate services this morning? Councillor Hand.
Sorry, I was delayed on muting. I'm sorry, I had my hand up earlier and got missed, so I'm backing up a little bit. I just had a quick question that was asked of me. Referring to long-term care, and I know that we're basically at capacity or close to capacity at the 3 homes. Is there expected to be any potential opening when the Trillium expansion gets done? That maybe people the list will shift somewhat of people that are waiting?
Mr. Gorgie, please.
Sure. Through the chair to Councillor Hand. In respect to the county long-term care waiting list, I'm not certain that there will be much change with the addition of beds with Trillium Villa. They maintain, each individual home contains their own list. So there might be some movement if there are people on the list that choose to move into Trillium Villa. Ultimately, though, I don't think there's a huge net increase in number of beds coming to Trillium Villa. I think it's more of a replacement, but there are some. So there might be some movement, but we're not going to be able to know that until that day comes.
Can you give me an estimate of, like, is it months away or like when it's done?
Yeah, I'm not sure of their construction timetable at this point. It's not something that's publicly known, in our circles. But once that does come, we will take a look at our list. But those lists are managed by Ontario Health at Home. We're not really involved in that as well.
No, it's just I had somebody that was waiting, and I said I'd ask the question. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay, moving on to agenda item number 9, Social Services Division. There are 4 information reports here to receive and file unless there's questions for those. Look for a motion. Councillor Sageman and Councillor Bean. All in favor? That's carried. Any other business for social services this morning? Councillor McRoberts.
Thank you, through the chair. I did have one question on the statistical report for the 3rd quarter. Do we have the update of the amounts in arrears? Do we have repeat renters that are continuously going into arrears? And if so, do we have social workers or a program that they can go into to learn to better manage what little money they have? Or do we kind of have this, not a game, but like a pattern of folks that know the county will pick up any bills that they owe over, and this is just a repeat? Or are these just specific to situations that happen to these folks and they're all different every time? Thank you.
Ms. Fitzpatrick, please.
Through you, Warden, to Councillor McRoberts. With regard to tenants in arrears, we have our community support worker team that works with our clients on a monthly basis to try and secure income sources or programs such as our emergency assistance, things like that, to help pay down those arrears. Certainly, there are some situations where a tenant may not have access or may not be eligible for any of those programs, and so arrears may build over the course of a few months, leading to a possible eviction at the end of, but as we know, evictions can take time, so several months may have gone by in the interim. But certainly as a general practice, whenever someone is in arrears, we address it early in the process. We attach them to a community support worker and get as much support as we can to get the arrears paid off and prevent any future arrears.
Follow up, Councillor McRoberts.
Thank you. So do we have social workers that reach out monthly to folks and just check in or send an email that just says everything's good? Or do we wait for these folks that are falling behind to reach out to us?
Ms. Fitzpatrick, please.
Through you, Warden, certainly there is a proactive element to the community support workers' portfolio. Their caseloads are generally between 100 and 120 clients per month. So on any given month, there's almost 500 clients being supported in our community housing stock. But certainly if we identify anyone in arrears, there's an opportunity to link them to a community support worker early in the process.
Thank you.
Is there any other business for social services this morning? Moving on to item number 10, Office of the CAO. We have 2 reports. Look for a motion or consider the first one, report regarding the appointment of treasurer under 286 of the Municipal Act. Deputy Warden Agar, and seconded by Councillor Case. Yes, just for A. Is there any discussion? All in favor of that motion? Opposed, if any? That's carried. And the second one is regarding the City of Sarnia funding requests, Planning Department, City-County Agreement. Okay. Okay, we can take questions. Go ahead, Deputy Warden.
Okay, I've been doing a lot of reading up on this levy process and everything. I'd just like to know what's changed that the city needs another $335,000 for planning. I guess it's to you, CAO.
Okay, Mr. Tifo, please.
Thank you through the warden. In terms of the changes, as the report indicates and the city's letter indicates, and again, if Mr. Cole or Ms. Nada, who's in attendance today, have anything else to add, they can do so. But as communicated on the year-over-year increase, effectively the city's position is that in the past they hadn't recovered the net cost for that department, and they're looking at their books and they're looking now at recovering the net cost for those operations in accordance with the agreement, the city-county agreement. With respect to item number 2, which is the additional of 2 FTEs, that information was provided to us through the letter that they provided, which includes their anticipated activity, applications, development in the city. And after discussions amongst the group, myself, Corinne Nada, and Mr. Cole, with some city folks, it is what it is, and now the matter is being presented to you in accordance with the report for County Council's decision. Pursuant to the city-county agreement, anything that goes above inflation year over year is subject to your review and your approval. So here we are seeking your directions and decision.
Follow-up, Deputy Warden?
Yeah, one more. I'd like to make a motion to send this to our budgetary process.
Okay, do we have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Hand, seconds. Councillor Ferguson, you had questions.
When you look back through at actually in the late 90s when that came through, and we had a report from Well-Nigh Winning, the whole county was going to be seeing growth. The first agreement was for $900,000 plus your rate of inflation. Would it not be prudent to have the county hire 1 or 2 more and have them work for Sarnia as needed, and we build them out, and that way they can flip back and forth between the 2 municipalities and everybody's covered?
Okay, would Mr. Cole or who would like to answer that one? Please.
Through you, through the chair, I'll just direct that operational question to Corinne Nada, our Manager of Development Services.
Ms. Nada, please.
Okay, so through you, Warden, that is a model that we don't currently use. We do not bill out extra planners. It certainly is a model like our building services operates as an hourly rate and a bill back. It's something certainly we can look into if that's the wish of council. But again, it is in the city-county agreement about the resources that City of Sarnia requires for their planning department. So we're certainly open to options, and we would have to discuss that with the city as well, but it certainly is an option.
Follow-up, Councillor Ferguson.
It would be good cooperation between the 2 organizations. The billing would be cost recovery, wouldn't cost them any more. They only pay what they need and use. And it could take some load off our people on the other side if there's openings there or gaps at the time of our people. So cooperation, I think, should be looked at. They get covered, we still look after the money end of it. And everybody should be happy in the end, and it's still looking at the same policies and the same building requirements.
Ms. Nada, oh, yeah, so I have Councillor Case and then Councillor Dennis.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Warden. So the agreement in place now is good till 2029. And the problem I have with this is it talks about future growth. We all, like the last council meeting, we all saw the projections for growth in Lambton County, and there were some promising signs in that report, and I think we're all looking forward to that growth. But I struggle with giving this extra money now because there has really been no growth in the city of Sarnia. They're no different than anybody else. We've had growth in different places of Lambton County. I would be happy to look at this if it came back next year showing some growth, or the year after showing some growth, but we do have a deal now to 2029, and I do struggle with the fact that a lot of this is being based on projections of future growth. There was projections of future growth, I think, as Councillor Ferguson said, way back when this started, and we really haven't seen it. So again, from my standpoint, I can't support this right now. But you know what? A year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, if we're showing growth, growth is good for all of us, whether it's in the city of Sarnia or it's in Plumpton, Wyoming, wherever it may be. But for me right now, basing this on future growth, that's just a little hard for me to get around at this particular time. Thank you, Mr. Warden.
Thank you. Councillor Dennis.
Yeah, I'd just like to remind everybody, the city is asking for, what is it, 350 or 375?
Yes, correct.
Is it 350?
335.
335. Really, we're asking for half of that amount because the city already contributes about half to the county. So really, we're asking for half of our money back. We are, or half of our money plus the, we're asking for half that because the 335 is basically already half of our money in the first place. So we're asking for the county to give us $160,000 in change, because half of that 335 is already our own money. That's really the right way you should be looking at it, because we basically fund the county pretty much half of their money in the first place. That's the real proper way to look at it, because every dollar you talk about, oh, we should give the city, you're giving us half of our money back plus additional amount. That's the way it should be looked at, because it's only fair.
Okay, so I have Councillor Case and Councillor Ferguson, but Councillor McRoberts, did you have your hand up as well? Oh, okay, so Councillor Case, please.
So let's talk facts here. Back when I joined the county in 2000, the city was represented about 60% of the levy of the county of Lambton. Now it's about 47%. So again, I'll go back to my original comments. There has not been a lot of growth to speak of in the city. We're all hopeful that it will happen in the future because it's good for all of us. But at the end of the day, it's not 50%, it's 47%. I know it's only 3%, but let's keep it factual. And again, it was 60+% when I joined the county. So again, I'm not against looking at this in the future, but right now, we have an agreement to 2029. I know any agreement can be brought back and re-looked at, but at the same time, it's 47%. And there was a report that was given to us a couple of years ago where it actually showed that the city of Sarnia now takes more out of the county than they put in. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the way I read that report back a couple of years ago. Maybe our CAO could state whether I'm right or wrong on that report that came out.
Mr. Tifo, please.
Thank you, Warden, to Councillor Case. The report drafted roughly about 14, 15 months ago specified contributions, who contributes what to the county levy, and the city contributes roughly 48%. And the calculations in terms of everything, in terms of all of our programs, services, was roughly that 57% of the levy goes back into the city.
Can I speak?
Sorry, Councillor Dennis, it's Councillor Ferguson and then actually Councillor Sageman and then you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Warden. If you want to look at getting money back, I have to look at the other side of the rural municipalities. On the 53% that we pay goes into Sarnia on that one. So we are putting money into Sarnia with that. The model I threw forward, I have not made a motion on that yet, is to have the county supply a cost recovery which covers your staff, covers your needs, and still comes out of the whole general pot. And then they can work in Lambton County when needed also. What we do from the rural municipalities, put money into Sarnia Research Park. There's a large debt in there at times, which the rural municipalities help fund. And this is more going into Sarnia. So to pull up, as you're getting half your money back, I have to look at the other end. My money goes in also into that end of the county. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Sageman, please.
Looking at the letter from the City of Sarnia asking for this, the first two drivers are Planning Act compliance because there are deadlines and timelines for processing applications. And the second item is housing acceleration. So to please the province, the city has committed to a target of housing, of an amount of housing, amount of development. And it's also tied to a financial incentive. So to me, it's self-driven that they're having problems staffing simply because they've committed to a target that some of us also felt was unrealistic and we didn't commit to it. So that would be my concern, is that it's kind of a self-driven problem that we've committed to something that we're now not able to sustain. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Dennis.
Thank you. Since the city joined the county back in the 90s when that agreement was made, Sarnia hasn't grown since that, pretty much that timing. And now, that being said, I don't blame the county for that, but I blame other things, of course, other people maybe. But the fact of the matter is and I don't deny those numbers, the 57%. And largely it's to do with the affordable housing that is spent in Sarnia, and more particularly recently with this surge in supportive housing. If you all know my voting record, I voted against all those things because I know it's a blight on the city of Sarnia, and and quite honestly, because of a lot of those decisions, a lot of our citizens are leaving and going to your surrounding municipalities. Your municipalities have grown like crazy. As a matter of fact, Councillor Agar, as a realtor, I helped grow your city. I substantially helped grow your city as a realtor and a representative for your top builder. I know that that mistakes have been made in Sarnia, but like I say, as far as voting for these projects, these city-killing projects, I would love more to see the affordable housing be distributed among your communities. And as far as some of the other ones, like supportive housing, I doubt very much that you would want them in your communities, because you would be facing the same pushback, the same grief that we're experiencing from our citizens. I doubt very much the little old lady on Erie Street or the little old lady on Eureka Street would like a supportive housing unit on their street. So, like I say, I don't deny that Sarnia is getting more than its fair share, and I'm all about equality, not equity, equality. I would be the first one to be in favor of you guys getting your fair share of these facilities that don't make our community strong. It makes our community weak.
Deputy Warden Agar, did you have a question? Comment?
It's not because of certain people that my community is growing. It's because of the way St. Clair Township is run, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of our business. We have lots and lots of sales on housing, and I bought a house from you. I agree to it, but there's been a whole lot of houses sold since you're not in St. Clair, and that's it. I'm done with that conversation. Thank you.
Councillor Ferguson, please. And then Councillor White.
I'd like to put a motion on the floor to direct staff to come back with a report and to cooperate with Sarnia to look at a shared services on leasing out one or two planners, so to speak, as needed. And in the future, the agreement expires in 2029. If needed before that, for the county to hire a planner, again, to cover the shortage that Sarnia seems to be experiencing at this time. And that way we control costs at this time.
So Councillor Ferguson, we do have a motion on the floor to go to budget. So we'll have to deal with that motion first, and then I'll come back to you.
Good, thank you.
Councillor White.
Thank you. It's been a very enlightening conversation, but back to the actual subject. The question I have is in regards to the efficiency. I know it's difficult to compare, but we have two different departments, both statutorily funded. Clearly, they're going to operate at different levels, and I think that the concept here of red tape reduction is highlighted in the letter. My question is in regards to whether or not we're able to gauge the efficiency, because I know from my conversations with builders, realtors, and other folks concerned with this process, is that the county operates more efficiently than the city. I'm just echoing what I hear. Certainly have had those conversations at the city as well, but I do believe that building capacity is going to be an integral part of being able to process and move more quickly, and of course, obviously make the city itself more attractive to invest in. So I'm just wondering, in terms of being able to manage the two, or being able to compare the two, is there a way to identify how they're functioning comparatively to each other, and if that is an appropriate measure to be able to allocate the appropriate funding to one or the other. I'm not opposed to Councillor Ferguson's idea, the idea of sharing it, whether they're located in Sarnia and then working with county folks or vice versa. Either way is reasonable, but I'm just wondering if there's a way to be able to make sure that they're both departments are functioning at a similar efficiency level.
Okay, so you don't direct that question to anybody on staff at this point, just to council?
I mean, if the CAO would like to comment on that, that's reasonable, but obviously it's a thought I have in considering whether or not we should be able to move forward with this particular motion.
Mr. Tifo, would you be able to comment, please?
Thank you. I'd gladly sort of provide an answer where I could actually provide some informed information, but for that, I think I'm going to have to turn to Ms. Nada if she's got any comments ultimately.
Ms. Nada, please.
That would support what your question is. We do have differing opinions on how different departments are run. It's the same as different companies are run. It just really depends on the user and how they feel about their situation or their experience with an individual municipality or county. So.
Okay, Councillor Ferguson.
Just a follow-up, but I do believe the county did lend Sarnia staff a year or two ago, so they are familiar with the process. I think Ms. Nada had an office in Sarnia for a while.
Okay. Councillor Case.
So just a question through you, Mr. Warden, back to Ms. Nada. I know planners are at a premium to get. It seems like we're always looking for planners. I'm wondering even if it's doable, what Councillor Ferguson has suggested, with the current workforce that we have and knowing it takes time to recruit new people. So before we even look at that, I'd like to know from Ms. Nada whether we even have the resources to offer that to the city of Sarnia.
Ms. Nada, please.
Through you, Warden, to Councillor Case. We have been very successful in growing the department since our restructuring. We've had great resume pools and interview processes. Of course, to assist City of Sarnia, we would need to increase our full-time equivalents to meet that need. We certainly don't have in-house staff to meet the need. We would need extra staff.
Okay, one last comment from Councillor Dennis before I call the question.
And as I've alluded many times, being a former realtor, and my specialty was new home construction. The county, everybody with the exception of Sarnia, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, uses the county as their building permits and that. And they sing the county's praises when it comes to getting building permits. And they all say the same thing. And then, of course, when it comes to Sarnia, that's the weak link in the chain. And that's where we, people compare the service they get in the county with the service they get in Sarnia, and that's where we lose it. And it in many cases it drives people to want to build in the municipalities surrounding Sarnia because of the fantastic service they get at the county. And those are the facts. I'm not trying to throw shade on the Sarnia staff. I'm just repeating. You can ask any developer, you can ask any builder, and they'll tell you the same thing. The service they receive at the county when it comes to building permits is superior. It's considerably better than what they're receiving in Sarnia. And that's all part of the service or the experience that they receive. And unfortunately, you're making us look bad. And, but it just means you're doing your job well, and that's something I wanted to say.
Thank you, Councillor Dennis. I'm going to call the question. I'll have Mr. Beauchamp. Oh, sorry, Deputy Warden Agar.
Thank you, sir. More I'm looking at this, it is a big budget item, and I'd like to record a vote, please. Thank you.
There's no recorded votes in committee, though.
Yeah.
Mr. Beauchamp, could you read the motion back, please?
The motion on the floor, motion by Deputy Warden Agar, seconded by Councillor Hand, is to refer the City of Sarnia's request to the 2026 budget deliberations.
All in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. There are no in-camera. Oh, sorry. Councillor Hand.
I just had a question. It's an intriguing idea that Councillor Ferguson has brought forward. Can that be part of the discussion at budget to have some information available to potentially go the route that he was suggesting? Can that be included at budget day to make a decision one way or the other?
I'll ask
like the allocation of services.
Mr. Cole, maybe, please.
At the risk, through you, Mr. Chair, at the risk of implicating my staff in some work, I think that's absolutely reasonable to look for some additional information, and perhaps we can work with the city to prepare a report at the budget deliberation, which includes alternate arrangements.
Councillor Ferguson. I think it's, yeah, sure, let's do that. Councillor Ferguson?
I would put a motion on the floor for the county to explore sharing staff with the City of Sarnia in the planning department, for us to look at expanding our staff as needed to help meet needs and to explore the economics of shared services.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Loosely, seconds? Discussion? Councillor White.
I just think it would, further to my previous point, I think it would be important to know where that trigger point is to be able to call upon those additional resources either way. So if that could be included in there, what that benchmark is, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. If there's no other points before I call the question, all in favor? Oh, Councillor Atkinson, please.
Warden, could we have our clerk read back that motion, please?
Yeah, sure. Mr. Beauchamp, please.
So the motion on the floor put forward by Councillor Ferguson is seconded by Councillor Loosely is for county staff to return back to County Council with a report on the leasing out of planners from county developmental services to assist the City of Sarnia with its growth projections.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Tiefel, please.
Yeah, so if this passes, we'll go back, and I think it's to have really what I would call a holistic discussion about potential options, workable options for the delivery of these services as between the county of Lambton and the City of Sarnia to ensure that we achieve our goals and we deliver the services as effectively and efficiently as possible. So that's really what we're gonna, if we come back from, if the motion is adopted, we will come back with a report that speaks to, hey, are there alternative ways of looking at the service delivery to achieve effectiveness and efficiencies? and then we'll give you those, we'll give you what our findings are based on those discussions. We understand the motion. We understand what you're getting to.
Thank you. Any other comments before I call the question again? Okay, all in favor? Opposed, if any? That's carried. That brings us to item number 12, adjournment. Councillor Veen moves. Councillor Ferguson seconds. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you.